What's up, world? This your boy, Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker, and welcome to another episode of the Geeker Report podcast, where we present to you talking in talking hoops in the SIP, the girls edition. Talking hoops in the SIP, the great state of Mississippi, the girls edition. And I'm here along with my co-host, the great Cordarius Jones from the DC Bucks, and the veteran, the easy one, Eddie Young from the Mississippi Play Sports, Mississippi Bobcats, just Mississippi everything. Eddie Young. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up, man? How you doing?
All right.
Hello, Coach.
You guys, make sure for those of you watching to share this, like this, let people know that we're live and we're in effect right now. So I'm excited. Last week we had our first live, and man, we had a lot of positive responses. So we decided to come back. We're gonna try to come back every Sunday evening, anywhere from that 6 to 6:30 range. We're still getting it all worked out. Just want to say this episode is brought to you by Tatum and Wade Law Firm, located at 124 East Meat Street, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Tatum and Wade says they are serious lawyers who get serious results. I say that if you want to get paid, you better go to Tatum and Wade. And so that's what I say, So, I think I'm a rapper or a rhymer sometime. Eddie, I can spit a little bit. I know you over there hating, man. You wish, I see you got the little, your goatee going this week, trying to be like your mentor, Coach EV. I got the gray, you got the black, so. You got the young fella Cordarius down there. He's clean shaven with the Bucks, the Milwaukee Bucks.
I see Cordarius with the clean shave on, man. He's repping his DC Bucks back there this week, man.
He got that thing. I mean, if it's just as green as it can be back there. I mean, it looks like next thing he gonna pull out Giannis in the room. I mean, it look like Giannis.
I'm trying to make that work.
That Bucks look good, man.
Yeah.
That Bucks look good. That Bucks.
I appreciate it. I had to change the colors. New era, man. New era. It's a new day.
It's a new day. New day.
Well, it's good, man. You get to represent some AAU. I wanted to, EV, before you get started, I want to ask you, I know you coach, obviously, some AAU ball in your days, EV. Cordarius, you've coached some AAU basketball, obviously, been, for the last several years. Man, what's some weird stuff that y'all have kind of seen, as far as like AAU? For me, man, I got a quick story I want to tell you. I think it's funny. It'd be less than a minute. Man, about 11 or 12 years ago, we were playing in a tournament in St. Louis, Missouri. And we were playing against this team. And about 2 minutes left to go, guy gets on the cell phone. And coach is on the cell phone. We're up about 10 or 15, we're up about 10 or 15 points. So I'm stalling the ball, kind of trying to run the clock out. So he's sitting there with a flip phone. It's 11 or 12 years ago. And I got, Tydesia Poole, who played at Southeastern, the girls from Lanier Courtney Elpton, and Dominique Shea Brother at Jackson State, and Dorita Luckett played at Mississippi Valley State, and had a really good team. Shantae Poole is played at Grambling State. So we got a pretty good team. The guy walking on the sideline, Cordarius, he's got the cell phone on in the middle of the game, 2 minutes left to go. So anyway, long story short, we run the clock out, EV, right? We run the clock out, and we win the game. So as we're shaking hands and we're walking by, we're shaking hands and dapping up, showing sportsmanship. I asked Coach, I said, Coach, what was that about, man? Why were you on the cell phone, last 2 minutes of the game? It ain't my business. But he tells me, he says, well, man, I was canceling my order. I had ordered kids some pizza, and I was canceling my order because they played like crap. And I said, okay. I said, so Coach, did you think you were going to win this game? And he said, oh, yeah, obviously I thought I was going to win. I go in with every game. And when they do well, I feed them. And he said, Coach Young, it's a Bible passage about that. And I say, a Bible passage about what? He said, you know, in the Bible they say if you don't win, you don't eat. So, but anyway, man, that was just a unique story. That's a true story. I can't make that up, EV. You can use that on your show, man, because you know you take everything from me. He says that I to him Cordarius, but he tries to imitate me, man, and do everything that I do. He's just a carbon copy of me. I ain't sure he wasn't bald headed before he got here. Now, how long you been back in Mississippi, man?
4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, I don't have no problem, man. Like I'm trying to figure out. A lot of times, I think people do themselves a disservice. Why would I try to reinvent the wheel when if somebody got something good going? Why not just try to duplicate it and try to just jump in? I always had this motto. I tell people, I don't want all of nothing. I want a little bit of a lot. That's something you can use too, young fella.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, I ain't trying. See, that's the problem, and I don't want to go in this because I get down in this my little preaching mode. That's the problem with people today, man. Everybody wants to be the star, and let's just be honest. If you look at championship teams, there's a star or stars on each team or a superstar, but it's those grindy, gritty guys that the Rajon Rondos of the world, the Danny Greens. We just looking at the Lakers this year. Those guys, the Dwight Howards this year, JaVale McGee. Those guys were big keys. The Alex Caruso, big reason that the Lakers were able to, win a championship this year behind the superstars LeBron and AD. And so if you go down the history of basketball, it's always those gritty, grimy, and it's going to segue into those underrated players that always seem to, like are so critical for a team. And tonight we're going to talk about some underrated girls. But before we go there on the underrated girls tonight, I want to talk about, we had talked about, there are some things that I did not know. I've been coaching basketball for 28 years. I've coached in over 900 games. And Eddie and I was having a discussion recently. And Eddie, he always thinks he knows more than me. And this time I have to say, based on the rules, Eddie was correct in a I won't say an argument, but a disagreement that we had. We were talking about a person's stats and we were talking about steals. And so I've always had the mindset, I kept, and a lot of coaches keep what they call deflections. When you deflect the basketball, because what that's showing is your hands are active. You're getting a lot going, man. Matter of fact, Coach Washington at Murrah, he calls it a play hard point. If you get a deflection, he counts that as a play hard point. So it's a very important, to me, a stat that should be used. And we were talking about a steal. And so one day we were talking about a young lady who, and actually it was Taylor Felton. I was keeping her stats that night, and I said, yeah, she had about 5 steals. And Eddie's like, no, she had 8 steals. I said, no, I watched the game. She had no 8 steals. She had 5 steals. Oh, me and Chuck had her, and so we're kind of arguing about it. And so I said, no, she had about 3 deflections and she had 5 steals. He said, well, no, the rule is, EV. And then he started wanting to bet me a steak dinner. And I told him I don't bet. He said, and he just bought me. So Eddie, tell him about what this silly rule is. It is a legitimate rule based on the national, the NBA and college. I don't even think we looked up National High School Federation. Take us through that, Eddie, what a steal is, because a lot of us, a lot of people don't know. They've been keeping these stats wrong.
They have, and unfortunately, that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't know. Cordarius, if I'm guarding you, if I'm guarding you, and I'm making you work on defense, you're bringing the ball to the floor, you cross the ball over, and if I create that steal, whether it be a deflection, I get my hand on the ball and disrupt you, and you lose the ball. And if EV gains possession, who gets the steal, me or you? I mean, me or EV.
I would say the popular question, and me too. I mean, I would go with, EV get the steal. That's all day. That's my That's what I thought. My whole
then you would be wrong, just like EV. You
Right.
know, and so, but I had to educate him. He's wrong on a lot of stuff, so I had to educate the veteran a little bit. I had to go pull out some documents. A lot of people don't know that is that the person who creates that steel is the person who gets credit for the steel. So, you know, EV throws this scenario out where what is
No. Let me tell my own scenario, please. Thank you. Like, thanks. See, like, listen to how silly that sounds. So it's like in a football game. A steal is part of a steal definition is an interception. You're taking the ball away. So just picture this. In that scenario, what they're talking about, and he is right. In black and white, what he's talking about, I want to make it clear. Eddie's right in black and white. Now, black and white doesn't always mean, you know,
that's crazy.
It's crazy. But check this out. Here's a quarterback. He throws the ball, and the defensive lineman tips it, and the linebacker intercepts it. Based on that rule, the defensive lineman who tipped it will get the interception. Now, we know that doesn't work like that in football. So I don't understand how I can deflect the ball. Cordarius can pick it up, and he gets nothing for picking it up. It doesn't even make sense. So
who created the turnover though?
I created it, and it's called a deflection. And that's what it should be called. But technically, based on the rules in the NBA and the NCAA, it is considered a steal because I deflected it, and I think that's ridiculous. I think
I provided those documents, Cordarius, to him because he wasn't gonna take my word. So I provided the documents to show him in black and white that the person who creates that steal gets credit for the steal, not the person who gains possession. And I'm gonna just say this too: there are a lot of high school statisticians. I wouldn't say on the college level. I would think that they're accurate on the college level. But there's a lot of kids who aren't getting credit for steals because a lot of people don't know that. I mean, people that are keeping the books need to know the steal is caused in basketball by the person who creates it. So it's only silly because EV was proven wrong again. And that's only one time tonight. So we got about 30 more minutes. I'm probably gonna prove him wrong a couple of more times.
So the definition they gotta tip it to, that's called the creating a steal. It had to be deflected.
Let me read it to you real quick. Let me read it and then we can move on. Let me see if I can pull it up.
I learn something new every day.
Yeah, we learn something new every day. Learn something. And here's the thing:
just hang around me, Cordarius. You'll learn a lot, man.
And you know what? We learn. Here's the other thing we learn, Luke. We learn something ridiculous new every day. So we don't just learn it new. It's ridiculous. And guess who? And guess who gives us this ridiculous information? Ridiculous Eddie. I mean, it all just works out. Thank you, Eddie. You just told us all. It's ridiculous.
Hey, he gonna have that paperwork right.
Oh, you know, I'm gonna go to the technicality. So here we go, Cordarius. Here we go. If a player deflects a pass or dribble and controls his deflection either way, away from an opponent or towards a teammate, resulting in eventually possession for the defense, the player who caused the deflection is credited with the steal. So that's the part that EV can't get over. But anyway, I'll say, man, you know, I just think we need to do a better job of keeping stats when it comes to steals. You know, and just knowing and being educated on that. And EV ain't, you know, again, like I said, he you know, it's only silly because he don't know. But I do like my steak dinner, medium well, loaded potato, macaroni.
Sound like my order.
Yeah. Hey, so let me tell y'all something else while we're there. You know, when y'all look at me, and I already know, when you know, out of the three of us, Cordarius looks the best, you know, because young, fly guy, he's in better shape, you know, as far as aesthetically, you know, and so I know I look like the 400-pound offensive lineman, and it's okay. I'm the better player out of the three. I've done things that you guys have never done before.
I contest it.
Hey, I've done things that you guys have never done on the court before 200 pounds ago. So, but right now, we just talking about now, I can't do those things anymore, even though I can get out and outshoot all of you right now. But let me tell you something that I saw the other day that excited the mess out of me. You know, I've seen Eddie Young, and let's just face it, let's get the elephant in the room, because everybody done said this before about Eddie, so I'm going to say it for all these people out there. When they look at Eddie, because Eddie's me, Eddie's a younger me. So I know they said this about Eddie. They look at this little short, pudgy guy. He over here coaching a team. I know they done said that, Eddie. They done said that.
I would assume a lot of people do.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though, y'all. I want to tell y'all something. I saw Eddie shoot one day at the gym. This was about a month ago, and I saw his form, and I said, "Okay, Eddie." I gave him his price. I said, "Eddie, you can shoot." All right. I said, "I'm not gonna just punish you. I'm gonna beat you, but I'm gonna have to be serious with you." But then, y'all, on Friday, everybody say Friday. You know, I'm going back in my church thing right there. Touch your neighbor and say Friday. I saw Eddie put down his phone, and he went against he told a little kid over at the NBA the other day, "Man, you want to guard me?" And I'm chuckling to myself, like, "Come on, Eddie, stay." I'm really saying to myself, "Stay in character, Eddie." You know, this is one thing about shooting. Man, Eddie did a move, pop, 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 between his leg, behind his back, and threw that thing off the glass. I said, "Oh my God." I said, "Eddie, I didn't know you had that in your bag." So Cordarius, I just want to let you know what he told me, Cordarius. I mean, then I saw him, boom, boom, yeah. And then he went and told me about the men's league he used to play in. And he said, "Tell Cordarius," this is what he told me. He said, "Tell Cordarius the next time that we play each other in AAU this year, before we play, he got to see me on that court one-on-one." That's what he told me. I can't wait to tell
I can share this particular clip right here, and it's just gonna be nonsense from players to it's nonsense. I can shoot better than you too. I'm known for being a shooter, even, so I'm Stephen Curry before Stephen Curry.
You Stephen Curry before?
Yeah. You better.
I'm gonna tell you this. Eddie might can't guard you, Kadarius, but I don't know if you can guard him. He got some stuff in his man. I'm telling you, I was in Eddie Young. He got respect from me because he
100
between his legs, he spin dribbled on the young fella. I said, "Ooh." I mean, he got me out my seat. So
hey, look, Cordarius. Here's the thing. I played about three of them teenagers Friday night. And so I got a 3 dribble rule. So, you know what I mean? I ain't going to do a bunch of ripping and running with them because I know that ain't, but 3 dribble rule, I'm going to give it to them. But no, I never said about you, Cordarius. I know you're a legendary player, one of the best players coming out, man. I pay homage to you. And then, of course, EV, a lot of people don't know, EV was, probably could have played pro ball. EV was I did a little
seen
research.
This little YouTube highlight.
His YouTube
I watched
highlight.
it the other night.
Yeah.
He want to be Magic Johnson.
Yeah, that was back in y'all. Yeah, but anyway, let's not get caught up in this. I get excited. I mean, that's all I got is highlight and talk.
That's tough. I ain't got one of them.
Hey, it's crazy though. Every time I talk about like playing and stuff, and kids just look at me like the fat old uncle at the cookout. That's uncle. He can't play. That's how they kind of look at me until I tell them to go check my YouTube out. You ain't gonna play me like the fat uncle at the cookout.
One of the worst things I've always said is the old adage is don't judge a book by its cover. Never underestimate an opponent or anybody just in life in general. So a lot of people make that mistake, underestimating people. You don't know where they come from or what their background is. That goes beyond the basketball side of it. So, but anyway, man, look, I got one more thing before we get to our topics, and I want to ask you, Cordarius, I got a question I want to ask you.
All
right. So me and Evie at the Clinton Northwest ranking game, I believe it was last week. I'm not sure what day it was. Guy gets a steal, right? Throws the ball ahead. A long touchdown pass, gets the steal. It's a breakaway. Nobody around him. He catches the ball. 1, 2, lays it up. The referee calls travel. Man, why is that being called so much? I always thought you had 2 steps, but it's called consistently, so it must be something in the rules that referees call that a travel on the AAU, collegiately, and then in high school. Now, obviously in the NBA, they're not gonna call it. You can catch it 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. LeBron take
Yeah.
steps and dunk it. But in high school, breakaway only on the breakaways now. If it's a long pass, if a kid catches the ball. Either you remember that play, he catches it, 1, 2, lays it. I think he might have dunked it or laid it up, and they called travel. And I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but why is that being called? Or do you have any education on why that's being? Because they call it consistent.
Man, I mean, I would say if the referee, I've seen that call before, just like you said on the stride. I think it's all about the stride and the motion of the player. Like I think if they catch it and they already in the 1-2 and they do that, I think the referee probably gonna let that go. But if they catch it on the 2, then 1-2, like you catch it on 2 feet, then 1-2, then definitely there's a travel or a little stutter step or anything. But I've seen it on both ways, and it's terrible. Cause I mean, what's the rule on that? Like, what we gonna go with on it? I don't know. Like, this
It's
the
like you
most
get 2
inconsistent call.
steps. Yeah, you get 2 steps, but if it's a touchdown pass or a break and there's nobody around you, you don't get the 2 steps. Like I don't
Yeah.
get that call, but I see it called a lot by officials, and we'll just let the veteran talk because he hates officials now. He really don't. Last week's show, he don't care too much
Yeah.
about referees, man.
Yeah.
So
Well, let me make this clear because I don't want Eddie to misrepresent me. I do not hate officials. I think that they have a thankless job, but the challenge is with officials, and I think the better officials are the ones that have great communication skills and lessen ego and are not. It's amazing. I see so many officials that's kind of halfway jealous of some of the players because they
Yeah.
weren't, that talented, and that's a challenge
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Now I've heard on that travel you talked about, and I don't know. You have to look this up one day. It's crazy, but I think we've always heard 2 steps, but I think the technical rule is you get 1.5 steps. Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know how what's 1.5. Again, but again, I think a lot of these rules, unfortunately, have been made, and they've been made by a lot of people who hasn't changed with the times. We have totally different athletes than when Dr. James Naismith invented the game back in the late 1800s. And I think some of the rules that we have are still just old and out of date. And so I think that needs to change. I had, again, my referee, when I coached, I always told teams that let me deal with the refs. Just we can make an adjustments, to the officials. You just go out and play. So I don't have no issue with refs as a whole, even though back in the day, some old refs where I used to be, if they're watching this, they would say, no, EV, you did. But I really didn't. I'm just a guy I'm loud, I'm boisterous on the sideline. I'm into every play. And so me being a big guy, sometimes I intimidated some officials. And so my goal wasn't to do that. I didn't cuss at them or anything, but that's just how they are. And sometimes, they're a little sensitive. So to all my ref friends out there, because I do have friends that are refs, hey, I love you guys. We just agree to disagree. And here's what you'll never hear me do. I rarely talk about, there are some refs are better than others, but I put them all in the same boat because at the end of the day, most coaches are not going to like them either way. Old, young, veteran, do they college? I would encourage college refs not even to do high school games anymore because when they do high school games, they feel like, like they're such a veteran and they just were on TV. And so now they just talk down to, and I don't like stuff like that. So when you start doing stuff like that, then that kind of irks me. When you come and be the bully, you're the bully ref, and you want everything, you want to blow every whistle call. I have a challenge with that. So yeah, I ain't feeling that. So, but anyway, love refs. Moving on, let's go to these girls, all underrated girls tonight. I want to give you a few. I'm gonna give you my 5, and then you guys can give me your list, and we'll keep it moving until the best teams and then the best performance, and then we'll call it an evening. You know, I've enjoyed it so far. Hope everybody's enjoying it. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like, subscribe, put some stuff in the comments and chat that you would like to see in the future. Tonight, we're going to talk about some young ladies that don't get a lot of shine, you know, by a lot of people. And so some names and stuff that people may not know. So I'll start us off. On my list of 2021 young lady plays at Laurel, Mackenzie Lewis. She's averaging a double-double, shooting 50% from the field, and she signed to play at Jones Community College. Obviously, if you play at Jones, you must be pretty good, but I had gotten her name this week. It passed my desk, and they said that she's, you know, and I haven't, to be honest with you, I hadn't heard of her, so she was underrated to me. I never knew her name, and I'm sure
Mackenzie Thomas. Mackenzie Thomas.
Mackenzie Thomas?
Yeah, Mackenzie Thomas, yeah.
Laurel. Yeah. Okay, I don't know how I got it. I don't know how. See, she's so underrated, I got her name wrong. But that's why Eddie Young.
Right.
So Eddie, tell us a little bit about Mackenzie Thomas. Well, she wasn't gonna be one of your all underrated because I know you got about 15 of them. Just tell us a little bit about it.
Well, Mackenzie I got her ranked right now 26 in the top 50 2021s in the state. She's a extremely talented kid, super athletic. She's got a nice mid-range game. She can finish right hand, left hand. I think the biggest thing with her, she's got to be more consistent. I think it's a mental thing, and I don't say that negatively. You know, she kind of goes in waves in terms of game. I like to see her be a little bit more consistent, but she's definitely going to be a kid that's going to flourish at the next level with Coach Missy Tilber and Coach Devin and Lauren Pittman down at Jones JUCO. Obviously, one of the top JUCOs in the country right now, ranked number 2 here in the recent poll. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. So I mean, just really proud of what they're doing. But yeah, Mackenzie can really go, man. She can play. She's got a high ceiling. I think honestly, if she put it all together, she's probably a top 10, 15 kid in the class. But again, like I said, just the consistency part. And I think a lot of people don't understand the game of basketball is just as much mental, probably more mental than physical. So I've seen mental lapses from her throughout the game, and I like to see her, you know, put it together from a mental standpoint. But physically, it's nothing that this kid can't do, man. I've been watching her for the past several years, and she's a high-level kid. So I wouldn't be surprised if she went to Jones and left there as a Division I kid after 2 years.
How tall is she, Eddie?
About 5'8", 5'9".
Okay. All right. Cordarius, you know what we'll do? We'll just do one at a time. There's my first one. Let's go, Cordarius, with yours, and then Eddie, you give us, you know, yours. Who's one of your underrated players, Cordarius?
First of all, I gotta start because Eddie, he always prepared Eddie. I know you cool with Tilbury in North Alabama, but Bilderback, Missy Bilderback.
Missy Bilderback.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, Cordarius. In my mind, I was like, I thought her name was Missy. But you know what? I wasn't.
I know he got a connection with North Alabama. He was thinking about North Alabama.
Oh yeah. But, I appreciate you clearing that up for me, man. Look, Missy Tilber and Missy Bilderback. I love both of y'all. Yeah, but appreciate it.
In my mind, I was thinking the same thing. Thanks, Cordarius, because I was like,
no, I had to get. He always prepared. The man prepared. Hey. I want to give a shout out to Hannah Campbell from New Site. She had 31 points yesterday. Man, underrated player in the state.
Absolutely.
From New Site, she had 31 against Senatobia State champions. They totally just handed them that L yesterday, and shout out to her. You know, she was big time shooter, moves without the ball well. I love her game.
How big is she?
She about 5'8", long kid though, really long. So.
Well, Hannah, all underrated. We love welcome to the all underrated. Go ahead.
Hey, look, let me say, Evie, that was a great. I had her down too. I love Hannah's game. She's missed clutch too. I bet you she's got more. I bet she's hit more end of quarter shots, end of half, and end of game shots. She's clutch too. Like she's got videos while she is clutch. Like In the quarter, she'll hit a three at the buzzer. In the half, I mean, I think this weekend she had a shot that she hit. I mean, she just half court shot. She's a big shot maker, tenacious, really, really tough. She's a kid that I think doesn't get the credit that she deserves. To be honest with you, I really, really wish she would have played. And I'm not sure if she played summer ball this year. I know I reached out to her mom and talked to her mom and her parents and stuff a couple of times. They're really good people. But man, she's a kid. Has she got exposure younger? Oh my goodness, I think she definitely be a kid that would warrant probably close to. She's a Allie Alford type of kid. Yes, a smidge. Allie's probably got a little bit extra but they right there, man. Like, you know, but
let me jump in, Eddie, right before you say this. I just got a text.
Okay.
Mackenzie Thomas is Mackenzie Thomas Lewis. She dropped the Thomas. So I was correct. It is Mackenzie Lewis. So I just thought I'd let you know that I do get a little something.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal, coach.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna start with the 2021 underrated kid. I've got, you know, you guys, I got a long list of kids, but I'm gonna give a shout out to Jemiah Hoskins from Aberdeen. Man, I think I've only seen her play 2 or 3 times. You know, and I was some videos and some stuff that I've seen, but I think that kid really is another kid that can go the JUCO route. Cordero, help me out. Where does she? Has she signed yet?
I can help you, Eddie.
She signed it on December 1st or something. I think I seen on Twitter.
So
Eddie, I can help you with that one. I'm so happy that I can help you, Eddie. She came to I mean, this is so. I mean, it's such a joy. Oh my God. So anyway, she came to Geekers Combine. Jemiah Hoskins from Aberdeen, 5'11", can shoot it. She can shoot the tray ball. I definitely think I'm in agreement with you. I think after JUCO, she's one that should find her way in a Division I situation. And personally, me, and one night we're gonna talk about some college recruiting. That's gonna be my show, because I'm gonna tell y'all how I got some real stuff. The college coaches might be upset at me, but we'll deal with it that later. But yeah, she's got a bright future, Eddie. How many? Let me ask you this, Eddie. How many underrated girls do you have? Because I got 5. How many you got?
Well, I could go on, and there's a lot of kids I think that are underrated, but
so you missed for our everyone. Give me another one.
One kid that we talked on before we started recording, I think Corderius brought her up, the kid at Holmes County Central in the 2021 class, because I think we should go 21 and work our way down, you know, then maybe talk about a 22, maybe then talk about a 23 and maybe 124. The other 2021 kid, I think, is Shambria Rule, you know, 5'6" point guard / combo type guard from Holmes County Central, a tenacious dog defensively. We're probably one of the best on-ball defenders in our state. She can shoot the 3-ball well, can get others involved. The kid really, really, I think, is going to blossom if we can finish this COVID year. She's going to be a kid later on in the year that a lot of people are going to be talking about and should be talking about now, because I think she just been kind of playing behind some people, and I think this is her year where Holmes County Central is probably her team. I know they've got Carly and the Andrews sisters and Angel Mitchell and some other kids at Holmes County, but I think their bread is buttered to me with Shambria Rule, and I think she's another 2021 kid that doesn't get a whole lot of publicity and a lot of pub. But I'm hoping she gets into a good system. You know, I think she's probably needs to go to JUCO route for a year or two. But then I think when she comes out, I think she can be a Division II type player where she can easily go play at the Mississippi College or Delta State, in my opinion. So,
yeah. All right, moving right along. My 20, since you want to go 2021, my next underrated. I did happen to have 4 underrated 2021, so I'll stay in the 2021 thing. Mine is Rachel Hightower from DeSoto Central. Played with Corderius with the DC Bucks. She's a 5'7" point guard coming off an MCL, ACL type injury. has been, DeSoto Central. I think they're what 4-2, 4-1.
No, yeah, they lost one game to Madison Central.
Okay,
they just had two big wins against Olive Branch and Hernando this week. So
yeah, so that's huge, and she's been a pivotal player, left-handed point guard, solid, real solid. I can tell she's still getting acclimated to her, to her to knee her knee injury. That's hard. There's a lot of that's mental. Signed with Pearl River. I think she's got a bright future, and when she gets all the way back, but she's had some great impact for DeSoto Central. Wouldn't you say, Cordarius?
Yeah, she has. She's been playing solid. And now let me correct. That was South Haven and Hernando they beat this week. They beat South Haven handily. They beat Hernando by almost 30. So and that was a team that didn't have a loss. So
that's right.
Hey, they're underrated.
I heard that she guarded the 6'2" Abby Harrison girl and held her to 5 points.
Yes,
that's a big deal.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Rachel Hightower defended Abby Harrison this week.
Yes.
Man, that's huge.
Yep.
So
that's huge.
Because Hernando coach does a really good job of I've always said that there's a lot of high school coaches who have post players, but they can't get the post. They don't make it an emphasis to get the ball inside. This year, I think Coach Jaleesa Taylor, who came over she's assistant coach at Mississippi College, and she's the head coach now at Northwest Rankin, does a really good job of getting Taylor Dupree the ball inside. I think they struggled with that last year. Taylor Dupree obviously going to UT Martin type of kid. So when I watch Hernando and I watch that coach, man, he does a really good job of getting her involved and getting the ball inside. So the fact that he was able to do that and Rachel was able to defend her is really unbelievable. And holding her to 5 points, giving up almost a foot. I mean, not quite a foot, about 8-9 inches. So man, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's really impressive. So we got to speed up a little bit because I said we wanted to keep the show today about 45 minutes, but I told you, and I tell people, I was like, man, when we get to talking with us, it's just so. I mean, 3 people, you could go an hour and a half and boom, before you know it. But I'm gonna keep it down to the time. So let's go. Who you got, Cordarius?
Another underrated. I'm gonna go 2022. Well, we want to stay in 2021 range, or you want to go on down?
Do your world.
I'm gonna go 2022. Abby, we call her Abby up here. Abby Howe from Olive Branch. She just been putting on a show that, I mean, she gonna get her just due, but she definitely is that spark plug that Olive Branch definitely needed. She have her coming out part of this year. She's just a dynamic scorer that can put the ball in the hole. She can put the ball. I want to see her shooting jumpers more, which she did a little bit against Pontotoc the other night. But she won MVP in that Pontotoc and Olive Branch game, and she had 19. Hey, I'm really impressed by Abby Howe. This short seat.
I've been reading about her. Who you got, Eddie? Next.
I'll go in a 2022 class. 6'1" post player at Columbus High School, Charity Yates. I know she's got a chance to come to the camp and stuff like that. I hadn't seen Columbus play this year, but I've been tracking their numbers and their stats and just looking at some stuff out there on Huddle on her. Coach Harrison really talks about her every time I have a conversation with her. She really, really talks about Yates and how she could be probably kind of like the Abby Harrison kid, Cordarius. Kind of we knew she was kind of on the borderline of making that next step up to be an elite post player in the state. And I think Charity Yates is a kid that could be somewhat like Abby Harrison, where next year or maybe later in this year, if we can finish the season in the midst of COVID, where you're talking about a kid like an Ari Winston, Jaquasia Bailey type kid that's right there as an elite post player in our state, which, that's valuable. There's not a whole lot of post players. Guards come a dime a dozen. So Charity Yates, for me, like I said, from what I've seen of her this summer. Definitely's got some upside, runs the floor, rebounds the ball well, has a really good body. She's in a good system at Columbus. So that's a kid y'all better watch out for. Charity Yates, 6'1" post player, Columbus High School 2022.
Awesome. My next one is 2022. I'll go 2022 from Quitman, Deja Bostic. Deja Bostic she's 5'11", small forward / combo forward. She's averaging 15 points a game, 10 rebounds a game, and about 2 steals a game. She was supposed to come to my camp, and she had a late stretch, but I'll see her again in the spring. So Deja Bostic, congratulations on you being one of our underrated. We wanted to at least throw your name out there, and I'm going to throw another one out from Center Hill. Kind of underrated, but she. Her name is kind of known. She's a shooter, about 5'9". Hope Mealer. Her dad is the coach, Newton Mealer at Center Hill, and so I've heard and read. I think that she's had a few Division II offers. I know she's been recruited by Division III, averaging 13 points a game and about 6 rebounds a game. So obviously coming from being a coach's daughter, works really hard, puts the time in. Just wanted to throw her name out. And then I'm going to mention my last one, and then I'll let you guys finish up on the underrated. The young lady from Brandon, the point guard, Tandria Minor. And let me say this right now for the easy one. Tandria Minor is a doll. And I can't wait to see her play against the superstar freshman Taylor Felton. I want to put it out there right now. I want them to be just ready to go. I'm saying this, Taylor, you know how much I love you. I love you, Taylor, but this is going to be a coming out part of you, because Tandria says she's a senior and she ain't going for that. So Tandria Minor is one of my most underrated 2021. So I want to hype that matchup, because I'm gonna be right there front and center. Brandon,
be a good one. That's gonna be a really good matchup. That'll be Taylor's first. Obviously, someone who's gonna probably give her some resistance and really kind of get in her and stuff like that. But go ahead, Corderis. I'm sorry I jumped you there.
I'm gonna say 2 as well. I'm gonna go first with another. I mean, we can go back to 2021. Andrea Manning from Hernando. She had 20 the other night against Belmont. She's a long 5'9" elite defender. She was on Macy Walker, kind of face guarding her the whole game. She can do it all. She can shoot the 3. She's just an all-purpose kid. She can do it all well. Then I'm gonna go with Adria Houston from Oxford. Woo, that girl been tearing it up. She had 17 the other night against Senatobia. I think she had 2 back-to-back 20-point games. I seen her against Independence. She probably had all of their points in the first half. Like, the girl can go. I seen her last year. I knew she was special. That girl is special. That's one that should be high on 2023 list. She's special.
Absolutely.
And let me jump in because I can't jump in much. So I'm gonna jump in now. I love her too. I saw her play this summer. She got game. I saw her at Eddie's tournament, I saw her in Birmingham. I saw her at his camp. Yeah. She got a little sister in the 8th grade. Not a little sister, a sister about
big sister. Big sister. Yeah.
But Adria Houston, she's got a bright future. So yeah, I like that. That's nice. That's good there, Cordarius. Go ahead, Eddie.
Listen, I would be remiss not to mention.
We're 10 minutes away from whatever you got. So.
But listen, I got to give a shout out to my baby Adria Houston as well, man. She is definitely a kid that I think can be one of the top players in the state here pretty soon. So her stock is rising. She's a superstar in the making, right in Oxford, Mississippi. Ole Miss and some of the D1 schools going to be hearing her name pretty soon, because she's about to tear this state upside down. So, but anyway, I'll talk about where are we at 2022.
Either one, whatever. We got two more. You only got two more people to name. I don't care what. You pick the two.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take an opportunity to talk about Albany Hobart at Northwest ranking, a 2023 super athlete, absolute transition nightmare. I think she's about to turn a curve. She played really well against Clinton. Played extremely well in a overtime victory. A week before that, I'm losing. I'm trying to figure out who. I can't remember who they played. Leak Central or somebody. I think she pretty much dominated that game down the stretch. But she's a 2023 kid that's a sleeper that you definitely want to keep your eyes out. She's going to be a double figure in scoring this year for Northwest ranking. And then also, too, she is a great on-ball defender and a super athlete. As she continues to work on her conditioning and work on her ball handling skills and her shooting and free throws and some things that she needs to polish up on, I think she's going to be a kid in the next couple of years that's going to really raise some eyebrows. Albany Hobart, 2023, Northwest ranking high school.
I think she's. I would agree with you. I saw her play the other night, and she is a blur in the open court. She's really good. As she develops her ability to run the point guard, she's got a very bright future. I agree with you on that. I co-sign that.
Yep. So,
what's the other one?
Well, we can just end it with one 2024 underrated kid that's maybe playing in the 2024 group. Cordarius, you got somebody?
Not in 2024. I don't. So we can go. I can go 2023. You know, not in 2024.
I think
I'm finna jump in. Just hold. You guys go ahead. I'm finna admit Talante Weber in because he's going to be coming in. We're going to be going transitioning right to the boys, but we're good. Okay. Just putting them, introducing them into the show.
Okay, all right, that'll be fine. I'll talk about a kid that plays with me, Brooklyn Hoodham at Belmont, 2024 Cordarius. I think as a freshman that's getting some quality minutes. I think she's a kid that you can watch blossom. She's got a really good shot. She's really tough. She comes from dad has a coaching background, so that's always a kid that's going to have some basketball IQ and things like that. But I think Brooklyn at Belmont is a kid that's a bit underrated. Obviously, she's playing on a real good Belmont team and stuff like that. Hadn't had a chance to see her, but I'll be up north in a couple of weeks, man. So I'm gonna be spending a lot of time up north. So I'm really excited about seeing some of the kids over the next couple of weeks, man, and everything like that. I'm working on getting me an apartment up there, EV up north. So man, so I'm gonna be up there a lot. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some phone calls.
Hey, you know what? I hear you, man. He's working on getting an apartment. Hey, that means Cordarius gonna have to get him an apartment in Jackson.
Some gotta happen.
I know everybody know these are two competitors, and gracious for you guys coming on. I really appreciate that. Let's go real quickly. And I was telling Talante, if you're listening, Talante, you can come on back in, man. We gonna transition to the boys deal here in the next 10 minutes. But we want to finish out these last 8 minutes. Let's mention a few best team performances of the week, and not only best teams, and then also a performance of the week. And I'll go ahead and list 3 teams for me that I saw. I didn't see actually in person, but I wanted to just throw a shout out to them. Belmont, #1 team in 3A, undefeated still, playing well under the guidance. I don't know the coach's name, but at the
Higginbottom.
What's the name?
Higginbottom.
Well, under the direction though of the North Alabama signee Macy Walker. She is the leader on that team. She is absolutely killing. She shoots it from the Vaughn zone. If you don't know what the Vaughn zone is, Eddie, you haven't shot that far. It's like 28 feet away from the, that's not your range. But anyway, shout out to Belmont. Shout out to Clinton. Shout out to Clinton. Shout out to Clinton, Eddie, the 4-0 Clinton Arrows, the Lady Arrows, the ones that you don't have in your top 20. Shout out to Clinton, Eddie.
Well,
I didn't ask you to say nothing, Eddie. I'm doing my team. I just want to say shout out to Clinton. I mean, I had you come in when your time comes. And then the other one, the veteran team led by Coach Thompson, a legend. He's a legend. He's won 7 state championships. Olive Branch does not rebuild, they reload. They don't rebuild, they reload. So shout out to those 3. And then for me, my performance of the week goes to the freshman who is ranked nationally by several outlets. And she is special with a capital S. Taylor Felton. She is a one-man press. I saw her stand in between 2 girls and they were scared to dribble the basketball, and she just took the ball one after the next. By Eddie's count, and by legally, by not just Eddie, because I don't want to say Eddie, by rule, she would be averaging about 8 steals a game. You know, by our stats, she's probably averaging 5 steals a game, but she's averaging at least 8 steals a game. I've been to 2 games where I saw her get me with my own eyes. Based on, if you go by the rule that Eddie read, she's gotten 8 steals in the game. She's averaging about 15, between 15 and 17 a game. She just had her career high with 22 points the other night. Taylor Felton, big time. She gets my, the Geeker Performer of the Week from me. Corderis, tell me your best teams and who's your best performer, and then Eddie will wrap up with you.
My best teams, I would have to give New Site credit for they only lost to Belmont that you mentioned. They're a solid team. They're very well coached. I really impressed by them. Then DeSoto Central, I had a parent say, you gotta give us respect. So I'm gonna give them their respect. They deep at the guard spot. They got some dynamic players that really get out, led by Coach Petty over there at DeSoto Central. So I'm gonna give them they look, because they looking pretty good right now. I think they're gonna be better later. Performer of the week, like I said earlier, Hannah Campbell, 31 points. She put on a show against the former state champion from last year, Senatobia. That's the performer of the week for me from New Site, Hannah Campbell.
All right. Listen, I'll start with my team, underrated team, or are we doing underrated team or top team? Because this team could be top team and underrated. I got a message from a dear friend of mine, Lauren Pittman, down at Jones, and she said, "Hey Eddie, you got to show some love to Laura. I ain't being biased because we got a couple of kids coming to Jones from Laura, but she's absolutely right. Laura started out 5-0, a quality victory over Vicksburg. Vicksburg I can't understand Vicksburg. One day they beat Raymond in an upset, and then the next game they lose by 24 to Laura. So just that alone, obviously, I think Vicksburg is one of the top 15, 20 teams in the state with Layla Carter and Destiny Sims and Janaya Capers. They got a really good 3-guard tandem, probably one of the better backcourt tandems in the state with Layla Carter and Destiny Sims. But anyway, Laura, 5-0. I'm gonna give y'all some love right now. I'm updating my rankings next week. Best believe Laura probably has a good chance that they'll be jumping in the rankings. Clinton won't. To EV with this goofy silly.
It's sad. It's sad.
And let me just say this too. I love Perline. I thought she did a really good job coming over from Pelahatchie last year with Kim McBride and Jacayla Johnson and some of the kids at Clinton. Went deep into the playoffs, obviously losing to Olive Branch in the state championship. So I think she's done a remarkable job really, really quick at Clinton. I just got to see more. They've got a gauntlet that's coming up, a 4-game gauntlet where they're going to play against Brandon, Pearl, help me out, EV, Meridian, Raymond. So Clinton High School will get because everybody's DMing me and hitting me up and saying, Coach, why don't you have, Clinton, you show Clinton some love. Well, when they come out of that gauntlet 3-1 or 2-2 and can compete against that 4-game stretch, then I'm going to show Clinton more love. That's just the truth. I got to see them.
They should be top 5 then. I mean, so yeah, you're right.
So what are you saying? What are you saying? You thinking they're going to go what?
I'm saying that right now from the beginning, you should have had them top 20. That's just my opinion in the beginning, because they had three. They had pretty much two starters, but
two returning starters.
Girl that could have started, and then they had Taylor Felton coming in. So that's four legit players. And then when I just watched them, they got a 6 foot one girl that starts, and then the Matkins girl that plays at 6'2". They got size. They got a little bit of everything. They got depth. I like that Clinton team. I think that they're going to be somebody. I think you can pencil in anywhere from 16 to 20 wins this year.
Okay. Well, and I hope you're right. Again, like I said, Corderis, my argument with EV is that, Northwest ranking obviously was a quality win. The win against Ridgeland yesterday was a quality win.
Okay.
But until you be the top 20 team, Meridian, Brandon, Raymond, and then Pearl. Those 4 games. Let's see how they come out of it, and then we'll judge. For me now, then we'll judge Clinton. My underrated girls team. I think we talked about Laura already. And my player of the week, man, is a kid that transferred from Vicksburg. Since we on Vicksburg, Yakia Burns from she's at Porter's Chapel Academy. Went for a 50-point game. She's averaging 38, 39 points a game right now. And I know a lot of people say, albeit against private school competition, but at the end of the day, you still got to make those shots, And she put up a 50-point game last week, and then she's averaging 38 and a half. So Yakia Burns from Porter's Chapel, she transferred. Is a kid that I think every JUCO in the state of Mississippi need to be all over. I know Coach Banks at Mississippi Delta is really recruiting her hard. I think she'd be a good fit up there with Coach Banks, and I hope that they get that solidified. But that's my player. What am I missing anything, EV? So I gave you guys my player of the week. I gave you my top team, which is Laura. I think they're underrated and top, so they're kind of twofold, and that's pretty much all I got. Am I missing anything?
No, you're right there. If you guys go ahead and give me your last your last geeks for tonight, and anything that you guys want to add as we get ready to transition. We're getting ready to transition. For those of you who are getting ready to come on, we're getting ready to just transition right into the boys segment. We have Shoes and Talante will be coming on shortly. So anything to Cordarius you want to just add as we get ready to transition out of this girls?
Man, hey, I'm glad we doing this. It was a good show. Shout out to, I seen that the Breacher Poe had 41 was it this week. That's big. And I think the state is I think all teams, it's just wide open this year. Anybody can win, especially in 6A. It's gonna be a dog fight. So that's just all I gotta say. And appreciate y'all, guys.
I got a shout out to Debrisha Pro as well. She arguably had the best girls performance, the girls' best performance as far as numbers. I asked her on Twitter, didn't she realize that Halloween was over, and why is she out here giving these girls 41 pieces of candy out there? So, Debrisha Pro, we love you. You got 41. Eddie don't know what 41 is like. He ain't never done that before. I got it. I know what 41 means. So I done had a 40 piece. I
had 48, coach. I had 48.
Okay, well,
my brother had 61 against Arkansas. So we basketball family.
I don't even want to tell you how many points I had in the game. I ain't gonna believe it. I still got just for the record, since y'all throwing out numbers, I still have the Flint Pro. See, it's gonna be tough. I've been doing this a long time. I still got the Flint Pro-Am record this day with the likes of Glenn Rice and those like that. Y'all don't want to know how many.
Here you go, Eddie. You want to know
the show? I mean, for the record,
the show.
Y'all want to know what the record
in the show. Hey, let's go to the board. Let's transition to the board.
It was 75. That's all. I just put up 75. I know.
That's transition.
I only throw up 75. So I know what it's like to score. I mean, I scored 50 about halftime. So I got this. I'm like, So anyway, you're not talking about me. I'm sorry.
Hey, look, also too, Evie, definitely you a legend. I feel honored to be on the show with a guy like you, man, that can score 7. I mean, interesting fact. Y'all know I'm a basketball historian, man, and I'll end with this on the girls' side. Stop talking about you guys are throwing out some numbers. Just when I think about Lisa Leslie, 100 points in one half.
That's crazy.
People don't know. So people didn't know. I think it was 105 or something like that in one half, man. And the team left. Obviously, I don't know. Y'all know the story. The team leaves. The team leaves and at halftime. So they're waiting. To start the second half, the beginning of the third quarter, and they out there trying to inbound the ball, and they say the team got on the bus and left. So the kid, Lisa Leslie, 105 points and a half. Is unbelievable. So, but anyway, man, listen, I appreciate everything. You guys have been great. I appreciate the time, Evie, again. Appreciate the platform that you're creating on the Geekers podcast. I'm honored to be a guest on this show, my brother. Keep doing what you're doing. Cordarius, man, let's talk about how me and you can get together and put this thing together, man. I'm thinking NBA. I'm just throwing out the NBA Bucks or something like that, man. Let's get together and do something and take this.
You know my number. You know my number.
Trying to make me cry on here. Hey, you trying to make me cry, Eddie? That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
NBA Bucks sound real good to me. I mean,
I got sleep on it. I'm just.
Hey, that sounds real good to EV. And then that other group out there, I ain't gonna call their name. I would love to be like we just do it all one big happy family. So I'm into that, Eddie.
I ain't gonna comment on that in your show now. I ain't gonna comment on that.
Transition.
Hey, what's up, Talante? How you doing, my brother?
What's up, man? How y'all doing, man?
Hey, I can talk boys. Hey, look, I can stay on and talk with the boys too, man. Now, I ain't Talante or Shoes now, but I can talk a little bit with you guys. What's up, Shoes?
Man, listen, we can. I'm not tripping.
Hey, Shoes, take your phone off mute, brother. What's up, my man? You sitting? Hey, Shoes, sitting in this recliner, man, looking like Shoes. He should come on late because, man, he just. He the legend, man. He even got the name Lavelle. My name is boring, Eddie Young. That's just, to him. Hey, look, EV, Eric Vaughn. Eddie Young. But look at him and Talante Weber, Lavelle Johnson, man. Cordarius.
Let me say something about Lavelle. He had me ranked low. In probably like my junior or 10th grade year in high school, but he gave me some credit later on. He might not remember that, but that was a long time ago. Hey, I still remember.
Hey, look, it don't matter. Anything in boys, they blame it on Shoes.
It was like I was like top 20 something. I was like top I should be top 10 about. Hey.
What'd you say, Shoes?
I think didn't your senior year, didn't you all play your last game at Lanier?
Played Lanier. I had 30 on Lanier against R.L. Horton. Hey, he remember. Hey, I used to look like I gotta see what this guy look like, man. One day, man. Hey, I'm glad I got to see it, dog.
He a myth, man.
Hey, it's a lot of cats looking for Shoes.
I ain't hard to find.
Hey, I appreciate you guys.
Hey, appreciate you guys, man. Look, y'all have a good show. I'm about to get on and watch you guys. EV, again, appreciate you, Cordarius, man. Appreciate you guys having us, man. You guys have a good night. EV, man, keep doing what you're doing, bringing awareness to basketball in the state of Mississippi. I think it's important that you take out the time to give us this platform and giving us a voice here and back, in the state of Mississippi, man. So you guys enjoy your show, Shoes, Talante, man. Y'all chop it up. I'm gonna go grab me some ribs and kick back in my recliner and watch you guys, man. So I'm excited about hearing what y'all got to say, man. Clinton boys, man. I hope that. Nah,
we're gonna talk about them. We sure are.
All right, man. Peace out, brother.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Be easy.
Appreciate you guys hanging around. We are back now for the boys talking in the hoops, in the sip the boys edition now. We didn't, get a whole new platform. We just transitioned tonight. Want to see how that is. Love to welcome to the show from the Southern Sports platform. One of the brightest young analysts, scouts, whatever you want to call him, Talante Weber. What's up, T Web?
What's up with you, EV? Just chill. Hey, look, it's hunting season, so I've been in the woods all weekend, so you know what I'm doing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Easy one. That's crazy. I mean, this cat is a hunter.
Hey, that's why we call it Southern Sports, baby. We do everything.
And then we got the legend from Mississippi Hoop Report, Lavelle Johnson, aka Shoes, in the building. What up, Shoes?
What's going on, guys? Ready to talk some hoops? That's all I can say.
Huh?
Ready to talk some hoops? That's all I can say.
Got you. Well, anytime we got a veteran like yourself on, I mean, it's exciting. Just want to say this segment of the show is brought to you again by Tatum and Wade Law Firm, located 124 East Amite Street, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Tatum and Wade says they are serious lawyers who get serious results. You know what I say? If you want to get paid, you better go to Tatum and Wade. So, you got that personal injury. You know how it is when y'all fall. You know how some of y'all people fall. Call Tatum and Wade. They'll get you paid, baby. So anyway.
How am I coming through? I'm trying it on my pad tonight instead of my phone. Is it coming through pretty good?
Yeah, it's coming through good. And just want to let you know you're live there, buddy. It's coming.
I'm live, but I still got to be right. I might have to go off and come back on.
No, you look all right, Shoes.
I was talking more about the sound.
Sound is all right, yeah. Oh, okay. So you knew you looked good, huh?
Yeah, I know I look good, man. I don't
you look good. All right, okay. I got you, Shoes. Shoes. I hear rapping to a couple folks out here. I got you. Listen, man, it's been a major week this week on the boys, and as we get ready, just kind of segue into a few things we're gonna talk about tonight. Our all underrated teams, some players, best teams, some best performances. But before we go into that, there are just to kind of open it up. We all know it's not a secret. Give me some of your thoughts on the potential of the COVID-19. We've been hearing a lot. There's rumors that say it may shut down by after Thanksgiving. It may shut down after football championships to January. But then I've been hearing different things. So let me hear from you guys, and we'll start off with you, Talante. Tell me your thoughts. What's your thoughts on COVID-19 briefly, and what's your thoughts?
Like me, I tweeted it, I think last week with me. I just think, because I reference stuff too, so I just think we should at least shut down for a little while, because the numbers are increasing. Like I think Friday, I think the number's like 2,000 cases. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what side of the fence some people might be on. Some people might think the numbers are fabricated. Some people think they're real, you know what I'm saying? But whatever side you're on, it's a real virus and people are catching it, you know what I'm saying? So me, I wasn't opposed to, taking a break, because even when I get my referee schedule or going to see games, sometimes we might not get updated until that same day that the game is canceled. So it's kind of annoying, and at the same time, it throws your schedule off at the same time. So with me, like I had said when I was talking to UEV, I don't think it's going to be good basketball if you have to pause for, take that 2-week break. You can't practice, you can't play. So when you come back, you're pretty much going to be starting over from layer zero. You're out of shape. You don't have any rhythm. So it's not good basketball anyway. So I don't know who want to pay to see that. I don't want to go see it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot to go into it. So I wouldn't be opposed to us taking a break until after maybe a Christmas break or something like that, and starting and, get a couple games in before region or district play, whatever you want to call it. And then just going from there.
Shoes, what's your thoughts?
Well, I hadn't really thought about whether I agree with or whether we should shut down or anything, but I would say I'm very leery of what's been going on with all the cancellations and the different schools that are going virtual because of COVID, outbreaks in the school. I am very actually shut down for a while. My thought has been I don't have any definite data from anyone, but my thought has been that they may try to get to the football championships and then look at it then and maybe shut it down, or get through this coming weekend and shut it through Thanksgiving and revisit it and shut it down. Because the numbers are definitely going up. You got a lot of kids and a lot of schools that got this showing symptoms and coming up positive. It's not just basketball players. It's not just the basketball and the football team. This is the whole student body. So that's what we got to look at. But I'm like Delonte in that it might be good to shut it down if they're going to be in and out, because I've already resigned that this is going to be one of those years that you don't know what you're going to see. You don't know what you're going to get. I reference the football playoffs. Starkville #1 in the state. They go they have a COVID outbreak, have to shut down, miss like 20 something days of practice, playing and everything at the fourth of the game, and first in the district to out of the playoffs. Come back, get blown out by Clinton. They didn't have any rhythm after 21 days off. We're going to see a bunch of that in basketball if we ever continue to have these shutdowns and everything. So, you know, it's going to be really a challenging year. I know that much. I know it's going to be a challenging year. And after listening to Lante, it might be wise to just look at shutting it down to January to try to give a chance for the numbers to go down. And at the same time, I don't know if that'll even do it, because if the numbers are rising like they're saying they are, they're not just in the schools, they're all over. So, it's just a case where, you really don't know how to get a grasp on this thing.
Yes, the challenge is one of the reasons I didn't do my post grad and my prep academy this year was just for this fact, because at the end of the day, here I am, a startup. We played 35 games last year. I have no extra money in the budget to do no COVID-19 testing. Whereas some people are testing. You talk about Jackson State, for example, on the low end of Division One, they're testing once a week, and then you got Michigan State or Alabama, they're testing every day. So it's just so much money involved, and they can't adequately do that. So based on that, I would agree with you. Now, I'm probably the guy that's one of those guys on one of those other roads that I think the numbers are skewed, but I'm not. That's not the point of our show here today, because I know that the disease is real. I know that, and our hats are off, and our prayers are with anybody who has lost a loved one to the disease. So we don't take it lightly at all, but it's definitely something the challenge is we don't really know what to believe fully. And so now that's where you get caught up with this up in the air. So you probably want to, as they say, err on the side of caution and probably shut it down for a while, just to see what the numbers are going to be, like if they will go down uh, and all. So I just wanted to throw, just mention that as we segue into one of the things that we wanted to talk about this week was some of our all underrated players. So, we talk about a lot of times, we talk about the top players every week. They get a lot of notoriety from tweeting, they put up numbers. And so we all try, between the three of us, we all try to retweet numbers and different things like that. So if you want to get your information out there, shoot me a DM, shoot Talante, shoot Shoes. We're all on Twitter, and we'll try to do that to help as many kids as possible. Again, like we tell people, this show is just, we're trying to come together, have some fun, talk about some kids, give them some exposure. It's our opinions. And ultimately, I couldn't get mad at people's opinions. If you don't feel that you are getting your just due, do somewhere we can see you, and the world can see you. But what I would do is just say, keep grinding. And so with that being said, I'm going to lead off with some guys that I consider all underrated. And one of my first group is a trio that I'm going to come from of guys. And then I'll let you guys do How many? Matter of fact, let me ask you this, Talante. How many kids do you have? As far as underrated, how many names do you have? Because I might have more than y'all.
Hey, you go ahead and go for. I'm going off the top. I'm going
Okay.
off the top of the dome.
Okay. How many you have, Shoes?
I just sit down and jotted a few down here right while you were talking to the girl, talking about it on the air with the girls. I got about 6 or 7 guys that I came up with.
Okay, cool. So I got I'll mention 3 guys because I got about, man, I got more guys than I do girls. So I'll mention a few more at a time, and then you guys can jump in. 3 kids from Clinton. I think Clinton, and I'm gonna talk about Clinton a little later, their basketball team. So I don't want to say what I want to say about Clinton right now because I want to spend some time with Clinton like I did last week. I spent some time with him last week. This week I got something to say about Clinton too. But they got 3 underrated kids on that team that to me that makes them go. The first one I want to mention is Allen Hughes. He's a 6'3". He plays the point for him, kind of long kid. He's got a chance to be. He's a 20. I think he's a 2020. I know he's a 2022 kid, so he's got another year to improve. He needs to continue to improve, but he's a kid that I kind of like him. He's kind of flying under the radar. He's got good size. He needs to tighten up his whole skill set. His brother AJ played at Millsaps last year, so he's got some basketball heritage in his family. He's a kid to watch out for. I tell you, another kid is Amarian Lust. Amarian Lust is a kid who you can say, well, EV, he's been playing varsity since a freshman. Yeah, but I don't think Amarian, to be honest, when you talk about the best guards, gets his just due sometimes. He's a kid that, man, he finds a way to get 12 to 15 points a game. He should, if they have
He was one of the kids I have on my list. Amari is one of the kids I have on my list.
Okay, yeah, he's a kid that he just finds a way, man. Every night when you look in the stats, his name's gonna be there for 12 to 15. Not one night, not 2 nights, every night. He gonna find a way to fall into 12 to 15 points. And it's gonna be, and to be honest, and I don't mean no disrespect, sometimes it's gonna be ugly. He ain't gonna flash you, he ain't gonna No, he just gonna hit that jumper, he gonna hit that right hand runner. He ain't gonna never go left, but he gonna go right really well. And then the other kid on that team who I think when I coached against them, when I helped with Murray last year, he was the guy that I feared the most, and he is very underrated. The 6'3", 6'4", Darvin Ham, like Jeremiah Foster. He is a flat out rim. Matter of fact, Charles Felton and Charles Felton came up with he came up with the nickname for Clinton, the Dunk Brothers, and he also came up with a nickname and that we said we were going to give Jeremiah Foster, and he's Jeremiah Foster, aka the Rim Bully. I mean, he just bullies the rim. I mean, if he don't try to just rip the rim off the backboard every time he dunk it, I mean, he's Darvin Ham type guy. So those are my 3 guys I wanted to start with. So, Shoes, you can go ahead and then as we can, you can name, one, and then we'll let Talante as he continues to maybe think about his.
Well, I'm not. I had to kind of think a little bit to come up with underrated guys. I don't really look at guys as underrated or whatever. I just kind of, position them where I see they fall. Like I said, Amari made my list because, he's been a kid that's always been right around the lower part of my rankings. He might not be in, but he's always a kid I'm considering. I might find somebody to ease in just a bit before him, but he's a guy that, like you said, he's been just consistent throughout his high school career. He's one of the guys that he's gonna probably be, if not like the second lead scorer on that team, first or second lead scorer on that team at the end of the year. And so I definitely wanted to, mention what I thought about him. Um, Another player that I feel um, the 2 players I got the most I'm gonna mention right now are Jamal Robbins. Jamal. Oh man, can't read my own right now. Now I got to go to my page, guys. See what his name is. I get the name just right. Can't read my right. Um, Jamal. Where's he at?
Jamal Anderson?
Jamal Anderson at Cleveland Central.
Okay.
They played in the All-Star game we talked about last week, EV. I told you did see, but you don't really remember.
Right.
I think he's underrated. He's 6'4", nicely built kid, puts up numbers, can stick the jumper. Is very active. He kind of made Cleveland Central go. They got hot last year, won the region tournament, and he was kind of the guy that got hot and made them go last year. I definitely want to mention him. I think he has a chance. He'll probably play some JUCO ball. End up I would say he's a NAID two guy afterwards, but I definitely think as for high school ball, he gets a lot done. I've seen him a couple times and a few times, and I like him, and I just don't think he gets as much due as he probably deserves at the high school level right now, because he really is what the kid that makes Cleveland Central go. Another kid that I want to mention is Octavius Jones. He's a 6'2" wing guard at Choctaw Central. He's a slashing scorer, quick, fairly athletic slashing scorer. Was hurt a lot last year. He was hurt over there a lot last year, in and out the lineup. He played about half the season, still averaged about I think I want to say close to 18 a game. I want to say in the games that he played. I got a chance to see him a couple times this summer. He's always kind of playing downhill, getting to the rim, finishes at the rim, above the rim. Pretty athletic and quick, and I think he's a heck of a player. Also, those are the two. And one other kid I'm going to throw out right now, and I don't know if you can call him underrated because he's so young. You always talking about. I heard you and the girls talking about 23 and 24s. Kind of hard for me to figure 23 or 24 is underrated because most of them have just not come on the scene, so people haven't seen them. But this kid is one. The guys on the coast been raving about him. He's been playing his behind off. Duran Parrish. He's a 6'2", 2023 point guard at Biloxi. Steve Wyndham does a great job down there, and he's giving him the keys to the car. He's got the keys, and he's driving. I mean, it's everything's going through him. It seems like down there, and he's been putting up really good, some great numbers, and he's had like some big quarters. They're Biloxi right now is undefeated. They're looking like they might be the best team down there. We're gonna see if Arizona Central can get it right. They won a game again this week. They slowly getting it together. But
you're number one.
Yeah,
man. I got to die with them. I got to give them. I got to wait on them till they dead. I'm gonna wait on them till they dead. Hopefully they're gonna rise from the dead.
You trying to help them along.
I ain't trying to help them along. I'm just giving credit what they can do. I still think they're gonna be pretty decent when it's all said and done. But Biloxi seems like they got so far been the best team down there, and that kid has been outstanding for them.
That's awesome. Yeah, those are that kid I've never heard of, and that's what it's all about when we talk about these underrated kids that we haven't heard. Talante, you want to throw out somebody off the top of your dome?
Oh no, I got a couple guys now.
Okay, got you.
The first one I wanted to throw out was 6'4" Nick. I think you pronounce it Crass. Nick Crass.
I thought about him too.
Yeah,
I thought about him too.
He was really good. I had seen him a couple times this summer in that the Crossroads camp. He really impressed me because he come to compete. I mean, it's not much he can't do. He's good offensively. He loves to play defense. So if you come to the gym as a coach or a scout or whatever, he gonna stand out because he does all the small things like every game and it's consistent. Then another one I wanted to throw out was Blake Burnett, little point guard from Columbus. He put up some decent numbers last year. I think he averaged like 18 and maybe like 6 or something like that. But he's been having a great season so far as well. And then my next three will be the trio over at Lake Cormorant. They get a lot of stuff done. They put up some good numbers together. KB Brooks, 6'4". All of these guys are seniors. Donovan Sanders, 5'11". And then Damian McKnight, he like 6'5". But they play great together. They've been playing together for the last 4 years. So apparently they should have great chemistry. But I get to check them out tomorrow versus Hartsfield at the Delta Dudes down at Mississippi Valley. So that should be a fun game to watch.
Be up there all the time. I might be coming up there tomorrow evening also.
Okay.
What time is that game?
4:15.
4:15.
Yeah, so I'm gonna check it out. And they also play Hartsfield play Holmes County Tuesday as well. I think that's an early game.
Yeah,
So
that's like a 10 o'clock in the game in the morning game.
I'm gonna miss that one. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna even lie about
Where's that game? Where's that game gonna be at?
Both of them gonna be at Valley, Mississippi Valley State.
So is that a 2-day deal?
Yeah, it's a 2-day event.
Yeah, 2-day deal.
Yeah.
Okay, because I only saw the 1-day schedule. So if you would shoot that schedule, because
I think I had just retweeted, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, shoot that.
It's changed about 4 or 5 times. You know,
a lot of people canceling.
A lot of people canceling and things, but he's still trying to forge ahead and have it. He's got some couple of decent matchups.
Okay, that's great.
And then my last two, Zandon from Center Hill, 6'5", the senior, the other kid.
He had a dunk the other
day.
Hey, you know what? He actually fool you, because last year I seen him a couple of times. I was like, this kid can really play, because that was my first time seeing him last year. I don't know if he played a lot the years before that, but he's really impressive. Like, he plays hard, he's long, he can shoot, he can get to the basket. He's not super duper athletic, but he can get a lot of stuff done. He's a great basketball player. And then my last one, Shoes, you probably seen him. I get a lot of crap from my kids about this, because we always talking about it. From Amory, senior, just signed with ICC, 5'10", Jamerson Martin. Look, if you want to come to a game, you want to see guys get put on skates, he gonna do it, because ISO ball, hey, he putting guys on their face. I've seen it a couple of times. He scored like 28 points.
Remember the All-Star game, EV?
I didn't choose, didn't remember.
You remember the All-Star game, EV?
No, I don't. He was in the All-Star game.
He only had about 5 in that game. He didn't have a great All-Star game. So I understand if you don't, but he was in the 2A. He was in the 1A, 2A, 3A game with the North.
The only person I remember that game was Shard Bolden. He had 30. And you know, Joe Holloway and the other boy, Kenneth Raw.
Yeah, they were only 3 really to remember in that game, really.
Yeah. They kind of the upper echelons of the senior class. So, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to go unnoticed with them guys, but I think he had like 28 points the other day versus Pontotoc. So
I want to take this opportunity to say I hate the concept of the 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 5A, 4A game.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of sense that makes, but
I don't know what they were thinking about doing that. I mean, I understand we the participation trophy state. That's what I always call us in Mississippi. So we want everybody to get some love, whether they deserve it or not. I don't have a problem with the 1A, 2A. I wouldn't have a problem with the 3A, 2A, 1A game if they didn't regulate all the players at 3A, 1A, 2A, 1A, 2A. I'd rather they did a top 24 game and then maybe do a 3A, 2A, 1A game. So that way guys like Rashard Bolden and Caleb Rawls, them, if they get a chance to, can play against the big boys in the 4A, 5A, 6A game. I don't want to see those guys relegated to that both of these years, that game has been garbage. I'm gonna say it. Both of these years, that game has been garbage that they had.
Garbage. Wow.
That's how I feel. That game has been garbage.
and me personally, I don't really think the A matters, you know what I'm saying, skill set wise for basketball players. Like football. Like in football, 5A schools probably gonna smash a little 1A, 2A schools. But in basketball, like Oklahoma, a couple of years ago, they were smashing like all the good teams in Mississippi. So, and I think Oklahoma's 2A. They might even be 1. I can't remember which one they are, but
they were really good.
Yeah,
they didn't want none of Callaway and Olive Branch and them guys. Let's be for real. They didn't want none of them, but they could play with a lot of the 5A, 6A teams, the mediocre 5A, 6A teams in that area. They could beat up on them.
Right. Here's some other guys I want to run because I had a list of them. From Hattiesburg, 2021, Alex Jordan. He's about 6'1". He's averaging about 15 points a game. I saw him play this summer a little bit and shoot the basketball. Hattiesburg is 4-2 right now, doing a pretty good job. Their football team just lost. They were 1 game away from the South Championship, lost in overtime. So, but Alex Jordan, another kid, I just got a chance to see him. He's up your way, Talante. I'm thinking. I saw some film on him. Cameron Carter, 6'1" kid from New Albany.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, Cam has been having a solid season so far.
He's averaging 24 points a game after 4
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
I talked to your man Shane Butler today about it.
Right. He can hoop. He been having a solid season so far. Last year he was kind of overshadowed by the senior guards that they had. Those guys are pretty good, but this year it looked like the coach is giving him the keys to the, like Shu said, the keys to the car, and he been having a great season so far. I have been looking at the numbers he's been putting up, so he have been having a solid season so far.
Yeah, 24. Anytime you putting up 24 a game, you can shoot the trade ball. I saw him taking his man off the dribble. He can do a little bit of everything offensively. And then on defense, he's a willing defender. You know, I always tell people, you ain't got to be able to defend. Are you willing to defend?
Right. Defense is about willingness. Hard.
Yeah. So he at least defends. Another kid is Des Weatherspoon from Macomb High School. He's averaging about 12 points and 9 rebounds a game. I had he's a kid that you want to look out for, Des Weatherspoon from Macomb. Nick Crass was a kid I had on there. KB Brooks was another one. You've already alluded to those two guys. I'll tell you a kid that doesn't get a lot of pub, but he's got a lot of JUCO. He's got some JUCO offers, but I think he's just underrated. It's Dylan Brunfield at Oak Grove, 6'3" combo. You know, he plays all positions in high school, but he's gonna end up being a wing, I think, at the next level. You know, his dad is the coach, and he just
don't like that, EV.
Huh?
Your boy don't like that comment there. You know your boy don't like that. I ain't calling no name, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't like that.
But you know what? Dylan is real solid. Plays hard. I watched him play this summer, and as he continues to develop, he's a consistent tray ball shooting. If he really knocks down the 3 ball, it's going to really expand his game, to another level. And the last kid I want to mention, no, it's 2 more kids. Cortez Dennis, he's been, from Stone County. He's putting up ridiculous numbers this year, 20 points, 16 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. He's athletic, jump out the gym. I think that he's playing his way personally into a Division I mention, a Division I prospect for me. Just watching him, I think he's a low D1 kid that could play at the next level. I don't know if he's going to have to go the JUCO route or not. I know he's a big-time baseball player as well, but he's a kid. And then the last kid I want to talk about, he's underrated in a sense. I think he's undervalued sometimes by people in the state, but not for me. I actually happened to coach him. One of his coaches last year, Jamal Esco. I know you.
I got him on my list, EV. I was gonna say something about Esco when you got through. I felt the same way. We love him. We think he's a great player, but I don't think he's valued like he's
not valued like he should. You talking about, to me, he's pound for pound the best pass first point guard in the state, one of them best in the country. I will say this. I'm admittedly a little biased on this because I was his assistant coach last year. So I will say that I've just seen the kid play 32 minutes, have 3 points, 8 assists, 9 to 10 deflections, and he just lays his heart on the court. And if we didn't have him on the court, there's no way we would have gone to the state championship without him. He was the most. He was him, and we had I call them the Fantastic Four. We had 4 guys that were kind of invaluable. But if you made me pick one, he was the least guy that we could afford to lose. He just ran our team, and he's gonna make. I really think he's a low D1 kid that can play. He can be a backup at the next level at the Division I because he's so coachable. So Esco. So
you say he can be a backup, baby. I think we're greedy now. I think everybody thinks in terms of you going in and playing big minutes and major minutes and starting early. No, I have no doubt that if Jamal goes to a D1 program and stays the course, just goes through the natural matriculation, he's a starting guard his junior senior year for a lot, at least low major teams. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with not in the starting freshman sophomore year. I think we get caught up. Everybody gets caught up, and everybody needs to go in and play a lot early. Play a lot earlier, start, and we looking for it. Just don't work that way all the time. I mean, so and nothing wrong with that. I think if he goes to a low major and stays the course and just does what he's supposed to do, he'll be a starter his junior and senior, if not at least his senior year, if not his junior and senior year. I think he's a starter down the line. He can be a starter for someone at that level.
And I had missed two guys on my list. How did I miss Cortez Dennis? I had wrote him down last night. I couldn't find my paper. I don't want to get up and scramble for it. I couldn't find my paper. Cortez Dennis, like you said, I think he can definitely cruise into one of those D1 spots. He can do a lot. He can shoot it. He handled the ball pretty well at the camp. I really liked him. That was my first time actually seeing him in action. I used to always see him in the gym with his dad, and I'd be like, I've never seen him play. Like, he's 6'7", you know what I'm saying? He passed the look test, but I had never got a chance to see him play until at the camp. But I really liked him. Another guy was Eric Green over at Starkville. He's been having a solid season so far, running the point guard for Starkville. I think he averaging about, on Starkville team, nobody's going to average like stupid numbers, but he's been averaging about, I think, like 14 a game. And that's pretty typical for a Starkville guard, you know what I'm saying? Because they play system ball. So that's typical. I think he can definitely get some JUCO offers in there and probably work his way up to a 4-year school after that. But I really like him as well.
A couple other guys I would throw out there would be you talked about Olive Branch and Broomfield. I like the kid Jawan Sumner at Olive Branch. EV. He's about 6'2", 6'3" also. He's more of a wing, but he's tough. He'll rebound the ball. He hits shots. He makes plays. He was really, really effective all summer when I watched him play. I think he's got a chance. He'll be a JUCO kid probably, and he's got a chance to move on and play some 4-year ball, at least the NAIA level, later on.
Is he an Olive Branch, you say?
Not Olive Branch, Oak Grove.
Okay.
Jawan Sumner at Oak Grove. I said you said Olive Branch. I mean Oak Grove. I always fumble with those two. But Jawan Sumner. He's a starter at Oak Grove on that team this year. He played a lot, started and played a lot last year. Had a really good summer playing with on the AU team that they brought up here a lot with Alex from Hattiesburg and those guys. And he really caught my eye this summer. And another guy that I think when we're gonna say Jamal is underrated, another guy I think we can say underrated is a Darius Thrasher at Brookhaven. He's really talented, man. Explosive to the rim, can hit a streaky shooter, but he got a nose for scoring the ball. I mean, he and the kid at Raymond put me in the same man of each other a lot.
Robinson?
Yeah, Jabari Robinson and Raymond. They put them in the man each other a lot. Both of them can really score in that mid range. You can attack the rim and finish athletic around the goal. I really think that with some work, he can be a point guard down the line also. And one other kid I'm gonna throw out there that I like him. I've never been able to kind of use him in my rankings, but he hits a lot of shots, make plays. He was a Northridge ranking this year. He's one of the guys that's make Brandon go this year. A kid named Ladarian Perkins, about 6'3". He's a Northridge ranking. He every time I've been watching him come through, he's been at a bunch of the young the camps over the years. When Omar his camp, he comes to the camp. He's always just been solid. And last year, what really got me about him was he really became a very, very good shooter last year. He was shooting the lights out last year, and he played well when I saw him play earlier this year. I saw him play against Harrison Central. He was good against Harrison Central. And I think he's underrated. He's about 6'3", shoots the ball, and I definitely think he's going to get some looks. And Brandon's going to make some waves this year, and he's going to get some looks because he's going to be a vital part of their success.
I want to throw out two more names. One of them is, Talante's guy, and he's come to his Talante's camp a couple times, and I think he doesn't get enough credit. And although he's been on 2 state championship teams at Raymond, Tremaine Dixon, point guard, he doesn't get a lot of credit like he should. He's still he's what I call an enigma. I'm not sure. I know he's a point guard. I'm still torn on his level right now. Like I think he's right. Like I think he's no question Division II NAIA, but he's teeter-tottering right now. Like he could possibly. There's no question he could play on a Division I team. There's no question he could go to like places and be on the team. But I'm curious to see where his and while we're there, I want to stay there for a quick second. There's a lot of kids, when you guys talk about Division I, let's talk about this real quick, because I think sometimes people get a misnomer about Division I. There's 334 Division I teams.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids that we're talking about, like for example, there's a lot of kids that can play at Jackson State, Alcorn, and Mississippi Valley. At Mississippi Valley, Jackson State, and Alcorn, as much as we love them, they're in the 300s when they look at top school, schools in the country. I mean, that's just what it is. And so pretty much everyone on that we've named tonight can go and be on the team. What we're talking about playing at the next level is, and I think we all pretty much agree, they're going to go in, and at some point in their career, they're going to either start, make an impact, a high level impact player at some point in their career, whether it be a junior year, senior year. Sometimes people don't understand. Some kids never get off the bench, and some coaches, unfortunately, I've coached Division I. I've coached several. I don't know how many Division I players that have come through my hands. And sometimes coaches will give up on you. That's why we see, we talk about the transport portal, and we always get mad at the kids for transferring. Yeah. But a lot of those kids are in there because the coaches have gotten rid of them. They've made a bad decision. They say, man, they ain't good enough. I mean, that happens all the time. And we always got a lot of blame for the kids. But no, some of these got to go on the coaches. They misevaluated. They lied. They told the kid he was going to come in and play, and they didn't play him. The kid got mad. I mean, so you got all different type things that's going on there with that dynamic. So when I say, back to Jermaine Dixon, that he's in between Division II NAI or Division I want to remind some people this. Tougaloo just 2 years ago went down to Valley, which is a Division I team, and beat them. Tougaloo, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Tougaloo was a top 25 NAIA team 2 years, and they could have beaten. I saw them the year, even when and they beat Jackson State 1 year, like 4 or 5 years ago. So don't get it twisted. LSUE out of Louisiana, them schools, there's some NAIA schools that will give some D1 schools all they want. There's some D2 schools that will give all they want. So don't get it twisted. Most guys in this state think they can go to a college and start and really can't.
You ain't got to be honest with them, man. You ain't got to be honest.
Very good statement, EV.
Huh?
That's a very good statement.
No, I'm serious. They can't go. Like, you ain't going to just go over to Tougaloo, even though you're a D1 prospect. Let me make this clear. You ain't going to just show up and act like we finna go start and kill. It ain't that type of party. I took my prep team last year, and we played some pickup against Millsaps last year. And so they might beat Millsaps, like a 7. We go into 7. They may win 7-6. And I would tell them, you do understand if we played them, they would beat us by 30, 40 points. We ain't that good. You ain't that good, son. And it showed when we went and played, the JUCOs. I remember when I was at Millsaps and a certain JUCO came in and played, they came in with major swagger. They D1 JUCO. They finna play this D3 team, and we popped them by 15. They thought that they thought a little bit, thought that, man, this is a D3. So I just want to make that clear. Don't get it twisted. Don't think you that good.
It's players at every level. There are players.
At every level. No question.
I have a saying: you can make money from any level. You can't make money from the bench. In other words, you got to find the level you can get on the court at. And if you get on the court and make plays and get stats, you can make some money from any level, from D3, from NAIA, from D2. you can make some money, but you can't make money sitting on a D1 bench.
That's exactly
There was a kid from home where it was Chula. It was from Marshall then. It wasn't Holmes County yet. And I was talking to a guy one day. I said, man, he'll be a great NAIA player. And the guy asked me, well, why not D1? I say, well, yeah, he can go D1. But if he go D1, he's fighting for his job every year. If he go NAIA, he's probably going to be able to morph into a very good player and be a very good player at that level. You know, and I just told him that, and that's the way I see it. A lot of guys everybody wants to go D1. I know that's everybody's dream to get a Division One scholarship and an upper level Division One scholarship. Like we've been talking all the time, EV. Some of these guys that got these Valley offers and these Southeast Louisiana offers and offers like that, especially in the climate of this year, they should have signed this in this early period that just passed. But everybody wants to hold out and see if they can get a bigger offer.
Let me say this too, and I need y'all to do me a favor, and I'm going to help you. So Talante, here's what I want you to do. I want to do a little role play real quick here, okay? Talante, you're a coach at Mississippi Valley, okay? Or let's just say a low D1, okay? I'm a kid that has no D1 offers, but you're getting ready to offer me a scholarship. And so here's what I want you to say. This is how I want you to ask me. And then I'm going to tell you what the kid's response should be, okay?
Well, let me do it, because I know I've been there with you before. Let me do it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, okay. We'll let you do it. Shoot. Okay, go ahead, Shoes.
EV, I want to offer you a scholarship.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I
mean, as soon as they say, oh.
Let me get it out my mouth.
No, yes, I'll take it. Yes. Yes. As soon as somebody said, it could be No, I meant awful. Oh, I thought you were for the anything like when they do that. Yes, I'm taking it. So anytime that they don't get caught up in this whole I'm waiting. What are you waiting for?
They waiting for that Mississippi State, Ole Miss, LSU offer. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, like I tell kids, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time, if you don't have it by your senior year, you're probably not gonna get it. After your junior summer going to senior year, if you don't really have any offers then, you might skate in and get one, you might not. But most likely, you probably won't get it because they probably already got who they wanted to out of that class anyway. And piggybacking off what you guys said, everybody wants to be a high major player. Like I forgot who I was talking to earlier this week. If you're a high major player, you're dominating the high school competition in your state. Kind of like let's use Ruffin. Ruffin's gonna sign high major this year. He already signed with Ole Miss. He dominates competition in Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? That's a high major player. It's a couple other guys that teeter tot with it. They do it some nights, but he consistently does it every night. He's a high major basketball player. Let's not get it twisted. If you're putting up 31 night, 4 the next night, 12 the next night, you know what I'm saying? That's not consistent. You know, you might have scored 30 on, we don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? That's just being real with it, you know. But a couple guys, like I know Devin Carter, he's been putting up some crazy numbers so far this year. I know you guys know better than me what his offers looking like, his situation. But like you said, don't diss the D2s. You know what I'm saying? That's just like if we get on here and say you're a D2, you probably gonna get some stuff in your DMs like, oh, you think I'm a D2 player, NAIA guy? I don't know why you guys get mad. You know what I'm saying? Because like Shoes said, it's guys at that level that if you go in the gym, you probably gonna get killed by. You know what I'm saying? If they came and pick up with you guys, they're probably gonna kill you in the high school gym, and that's just real.
Well, let me say this. You know, you mentioned Devin Carter, so I want to get, we want to throw that. You throw him out there, and Devin Carter is averaging an unreal 35 plus night a game, and to average that now, if he goes through the season and averages that, that's special. To put up 30 a night is special. I mean, so you're talking about 35, and then he had back-to-back 45, 44. I've seen Devin Carter play since I first met him in the 8th grade. He was playing at Clinton Junior High. So just imagine, he was supposed to be slated to go to Clinton. But I think personally, since you mentioned his name, I think Devin Could he play at Mississippi State and Ole Miss? Yes, he could be on the team. Like a lot of kids, like I said, like would he? Yes, but I think his best basketball is a low to mid major. I really do. I think that he's gonna be he would flourish. And again, what I mean by that, by his his junior senior, if you can go to a school and start for 2 years, you're doing something. If you start for 4 years, see, let's just go ahead, and a lot of people, and since we've shifted this way, and also I need to throw this in. My other underrated player, and then I want to stay on this path, is Cam Brent from Jackson Prep. Cam is a kid. I just want to mention Cam because, he's a coach he's the son of Wayne Brent at Jackson State. But you mentioned a kid like Cam. Unfortunately, Cam is only 5'3", but Cam is one of the. I don't know if there's any harder worker in the state than Cam. I mean, he puts up shots 6 o'clock in the morning. I mean, he's not only training himself, he's training other people. I've seen it, and I've seen the improvement that Cam has made. So I just wanted to throw a shout out to Cam because Cam is a hard worker, and I respect hard workers. He just, he got his mama's gene on the height. He didn't get his dad's gene. If he got his dad's gene, man, I'm just being honest. At 6 foot, we'll be talking about Cam in a whole different light. But Cam's going, did a good job, has done a great job at Jackson Prep. But getting back to shifting back to when you talk about like Deshaun Ruffin, while we hit Deshaun Ruffin, as we get ready to close here in this next 10, 15 minutes. Deshaun Ruffin should go into Ole Miss as a starter. I just want to make that clear. So that's another thing when you talk about high majors, usually, especially guys like a Deshaun Ruffin, who's top 20 in the country, which means out of, 10,000 high school players across the country, maybe even more, because
I think that's on the low end of the spectrum.
Nah, you mean
100,000 high
a
school
million players.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Talante, because I don't know what I was thinking. I had a block. There's 4,000 high school players in just the state of Mississippi. Right. So let's just say it's 5,000 players per state. That's 250,000 players right there. So out of 250,000 players, he's 20. That makes a state, that makes a statement in itself. And so it's not a thing, and we got to get out of this mindset, even as players. When I played basketball, I gave guys props off the court. I gave them their due. Now on the court, man, I don't care where you rank. I'm going at your head. But when it's all said and done, it's like, oh man, that dude can go. And Deshaun Ruffin is just one of them cats. That dude can go. When it's all said and done. So you have to figure out what you have to do to get there. Everybody ain't gonna go to Ole Miss, and that's okay. There's guys can make it to the league from Jackson State, just like a la Lindsey Hunter, a la Trey Johnson. Those guys, and there's even more. Those are just the two that comes to my mind. Lindsey Hunter was 10th pick in the draft. Trey Johnson is getting a pension. See, I feel like preaching right there. I need everybody to say pension. Just put in the comments pension. That means, boy, I feel a guy right there. Pension means something. See, when you get me in shoes, you understand what pension means. That means he's in the chat. He played 4 years. I think Trey gonna get an NBA check when he gets that of age. That means something.
And I mean, to piggyback what you saying, I'm gonna take this from Rick Lewis. He always tweeting about it. He always talk about when we talk the 4 for 40. You know what I'm saying? If you can go to school for free for 4 years and you don't have to pay back no student loans,
that's it.
You can get it, and you can get a meaningful degree, not just go to school and major in IDS, that's interdisciplinary studies, aka I don't study degree. But if you can go there and get a degree for free, like if you talk to any college athlete who went, you know what I'm saying, of course you're gonna put the work in at any level because that's your job once you get to school, is to be a student and perform on the court or field, whatever you do. But if you can go there for free, I mean, and get done with school debt free, I mean, that's a blessing in itself because you already got a head start over a lot of people anyway.
I want to say, earlier we were talking about guys um, taking their offer, jumping at it, and jumping at their offer. The little skit we did. That makes me want to mention you were talking guys that can play, and we were talking about what makes a high major player. And I'm gonna reach out. We'll talk about this one player here in the state that some people wonder is he a high major player, you know, but he's got a high major offer, Carlos Williams. Some people still not sure if he's a high major guy. Carlos, I don't think he signed his scholarship papers during the period. He's talking about he's gonna sign in the spring. That's what I heard, and I haven't been able to verify whether he signed yet or not. So I don't think he signed. I hope he understands that scholarship may not be there come the spring if he doesn't perform during the season. I mean, yeah, they'll offer it to you, but now you giving them a chance to reevaluate you. You giving them a chance to go out and find somebody better, than you. I mean, we a lot of people. I think he can play at that level. I think he can be productive at that level. But he's going to have to go in and accept coaching and put in the work. He has all the natural abilities to play at that level, I think. But if he doesn't, now if he gives these coaches the same coaches that offered it and we're going to sign it, when you put them off like that, you really playing with fire. You really playing with fire.
Now, Shoes, I got to be, as a journalist, as a fellow journalist, we need to make sure. Are you sure? Because that is a major statement that you just made. Are you sure that he didn't sign that letter of intent?
I've not been able to verify that he has. I don't think he has.
That is and I want to make this clear. I'm a Carlos Williams fan in the sense I think the kid is a phenomenal kid, as well as a player who, again, he's a kid. Can he play at that level? Yes. Can he even be productive at that level? I would say yes as well. Now, again, if you ask me where I think he would be even better, I think he would be better. This is my opinion. Can he play? I want to make this clear because they'll be tripping, EV tripping. He could play at South Carolina. He would get minutes at South Carolina eventually because he's so athletic. I just think he would be a stud at Southern Miss. That's my opinion, that level. And this is not a shot for Jay Ladner, even though I like Jay Ladner, but you know what I mean? I think he would be I think he has a superstar potential, at that level, in my opinion. But if he did not sign that scholarship, that is a problem because and I'm telling all young people out there like this, I remember the late, great Skip Prosser. I had a young man that was played for me. He was 6'10", and he played for us, and he just blew up. I remember Rick Pitino stopping me saying, EV, what's up, man? It's amazing when you got players, they know your name. Now I ain't never met Rick in my life, and he act like we buddies. Now, I just had a player. But he said, man, I got to get to know you, man. I love that kid. We want that kid. Well, this kid, he was getting ready to go and sign with Wake Forest. He was going to sign with him. And he had a bad weekend, and they not only didn't bring him out they pulled the offer. He ended up going to Illinois and, played 4 years there for Bruce Weber. So I don't know, we're just going to say that that's unverified at this point.
I just got a text that says he 100% didn't sign.
Well, there it is. It is verified. Shoes, I kind of knew you. I was there with you, but you didn't say you got a text. Boy, I tell you.
Just now, while you were talking, it said.
Why you talking?
100% didn't sign.
Yeah, like I'm telling you guys, you're talking to three different levels. You're talking about a young guy in Talante who's well known all over the country. You're talking to Shoes, whom I met years ago before I moved to Mississippi, and you're talking to myself, who there's not a college coach or a program I probably haven't touched at some point over my lifetime over the last 28 years. If you get an offer and you don't have a glob of offers, if D1 is the goal, you need to take it. And because the reason I say that is or if you're into trying to get best fit, if you're really like I remember a kid who had some Division II offers, Division I offers, and the kid ended up going D2 because he felt it was a better fit. Okay, good, do that, but don't just play around and act like. And let me go ahead and say this: I love the junior colleges here in Mississippi. Okay, I want to make that clear because I got junior college coaches that are friends. But the goal, in EV's opinion, this is something we can talk about another day. But the goal for me is if you got a 4-year scholarship, the goal, JUCO is the pattern to me to get you to a 4-year school. Do y'all agree with that, or am I tripping?
I don't get all these kids that want to that have offers and still go JUCO.
I mean, but in their defense,
okay, good.
It's a Mississippi thing. Like I've talked to kids, you know what I'm saying? They've had 4-year offers, but they want to go to JUCO. I don't know why. I try to talk to them. Because I'm gonna just be honest, you can get lost at a JUCO. You know what I'm saying? No knock against them, but you can just get lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Just become a number if you don't produce. So I mean, if you got 4 years that want you, they might not want you the next year or the 2 years after that. You know, that's just real.
Absolutely. And the thing happens is this. Let me just say this since we're there. If you are getting recruited by Jackson State, Alcorn State, Mississippi Valley, Tennessee Martin, let me see,
New Orleans,
Louisiana, don't fall for the banana pipe in the tailpipe that says when these JUCOs tell you, I love you JUCOs, that we're going to get you higher. Since I've been here in 4 years, I'll just deal with me. I'll just deal with this. I don't know but one kid that I would say that JUCO, this is EV, that he went JUCO, and I know some of these guys are gonna be upset at me, but you know, hey, I'm just keeping it real. This is our job. That JUCO helped him elevate himself into a 2-bid league, and that was the kid who I thought was a high major intangible guy all along, and that was John Knight. John Knight went 1 year Southwest, and he went to Utah State.
That was not that's still a 1-bid league. Big Sky was a 1-bid league.
Utah State is a 2-bid league. They're not in
the Big Sky. They're not in the Big Sky. They're in the
Mountain West. The Mountain West.
Yeah, they're a 2-bid league.
Yeah, they're a 2-bid league.
Okay, now granted, even talking like that, I can get him a personal example. Avery Diggs, he like 6'11", 7 foot. He was at Upstate when I was at Upstate, USC Upstate. I told him word for word, he didn't have a great year with us because we didn't utilize him. I said, look, if you go to Mississippi to a JUCO for a year, you would go to you know what I'm saying, a nice level program. So he took my advice. He went to Southwest. He was there for a year. He ended up at Central Florida. Now he's a senior at Central Florida playing. And you know what I'm saying? So, but he's 6'11". So you know what I'm saying? You have to play it smart. If you're not 6'11", sometimes you can get lost. But he did average I think he averaged like 18 a game here in the Mississippi.
And Delonte, I heard, just so it's interesting you mentioned Avery Diggs. I heard that he's no longer at Central Florida.
I don't know. I have to reach out to him. I have to reach out to him
because
he transfer portal also. I want to say I might have seen that.
Yes, he did not play for Central Florida. So what he did was he went up a level when his whole level at the time was Upstate.
Right.
Like and college coaches do make mistakes, but usually and I said that to say this. If Alcorn is wanting you out of high school, or Jackson State is wanting you out of high school, or Valley is wanting you out of high school, or Southeast Louisiana, man, go ahead and sign the scholarship. Just take the scholarship because that's where you're going to be pretty much in 2 years. That's what I've seen in the 4 years I've been here. Now, if JUCO coaches want to argue with me and say something different, that's fine. I'm not mad at them. It's plenty of kids, so I'm not going to cost you any kid. I think the JUCO system in Mississippi arguably is the best in the country. I really do. I think the facilities are off the chain. I think I think great things about it. But I do, I just would be unfair to some of these kids. And it's not a lot because a lot of the kids are not getting 4-year offers like that. But the few that are, I just think that they need to, take, you know, and obviously you
So
guys feel the
somebody
same.
needs to tell them that's the whole purpose of getting the scholarship. Trying to get the, the 4 year level. You got a D1 offer. It's you've got something to work with. I mean, like you say, the majority of the guys that go JUCO are going to end up at the level that they were offered in the first place, if they don't fall through the cracks and don't get one. 'Cause Delonte says, you can fall through the cracks of JUCO. I mean, so it does help some guys. I mean, there's guys that don't have offers, and then they go to JUCO, and then they have offers. So it works both ways. I
No
mean,
question. We're not saying,
for those guys, but
yeah, we want to make it clear. We're not saying that that JUCO is not important. I want to make that for the record. We love JUCO, and I think it has its place, and I think it's very valuable. But we're just saying, for those few kids that have D1 offers out of high school, they should take it. Let's wrap this up, man. Let's get some final thoughts. Let's just real quick. I'm gonna just name my I want to mention Clinton High School. This is EV's final thought for tonight. If you guys want to throw out some of your final thoughts, just get that. These are the final thoughts for me. Clinton High School. Last week I anointed Clinton as the team to beat. I want to say I am sorry for saying that. They are still undefeated. I just want to make this clear. I got to bring them down a level. I saw them. I think they are the most talented team, bar none, in the state. There's no question in my mind. But until they show me, and I know you say, well, who are you, EV? Well, I'm EV. So that's why I said show me. Show me some consistency in the sense of taking things more seriously. They haven't won a championship yet. Do they have the talent? Yes. But I'm going to.
They played yesterday, EV? Did you know they played yesterday?
Yeah, I heard. And I heard it was a dog fight.
Yeah, they were regional. I was there. They were regional. Regional gave them a dog fight.
Yeah, I heard. And they don't, the thing that frustrates me
they were listening to your clippings. You the downfall.
So I apologize, Clinton. I apologize. I put you guys on a pedestal too quick. I took Starkville down, and Starkville, I apologize. You are back. That's right, Talante. You said it. Starkville, you are back on the pedestal until somebody knocks you down. Also, my guy Dave Sanders, you are on the championship pedestal until somebody knocks you down. Clinton, you are now my number 3 team because you are that talented. You have an opportunity to prove me right later if you take this thing seriously. But right now, you got to change the way. You got to be killers from the door. You can't be a front running team that you guys are up when you're just dunking. Because when they dunking now, they really, they skipping and all that. They doing all that. They look real good. Dunk Brothers, dunk you very much. They got all that. And I'm excited to watch it. But I watched out of the eyes of a coach, a scout. I was like, ooh, they got something. And you know what? Hopefully, maybe these words, maybe you care, maybe you don't. But I just want to, say, man, let's get it together because y'all, it's tough when a talented team doesn't meet the expectations like they should. And then I just want to mention best performance of the week from the boys is a guy who could have been an underrated kid too from North Forest. Joe Holloway had 42 points in the game. Did he have 42 this week or had last week?
That was 42. That was this week.
Yeah, 42 points. I was like, whoa, Joe Holloway, you put up 42. Shout out to you, man.
That was my performance of the week as well, because that was a lot of points. Then it was on what's the kid that made the Danny Dozen from Jefferson? Was it Jefferson Davis County?
Yeah,
it was his team. They won by by 10 or 20, something like that.
Yeah, it was against him.
Okay.
So what are your final thoughts, Talante, and then Shoes will end with you?
Well, going off what you guys said, I know Clinton's very talented. The only reason I had them because I almost beat Starkville at Starkville last year, and I think Starkville's team last year is arguably better than it is this year. So if they gave that team problems, you know what I'm saying, I know they have great potential if they still got the same stuff returning. But like for most people, it's hard to win. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that, but it's hard to win games. You know what I'm saying? So once you find that winning mentality, I do think they'll still be there. They have a long season, so you know what I'm saying, figure things out. But like you guys said, I do think they probably have the most talent in the state, but they just got to figure some stuff out. And I think they'll still be there. I think Starkville is arguably still my best team. And then like you said, Callaway's still gonna be there until they play. I think it's gonna be I think it's still gonna be tough for teams to beat them. If we still go on and playing on council, they will meet Starkville at the Tangle on the Trail. I think that's gonna be the game of the year, or the game that everybody wants to see the most right now. Two great teams, you know what I'm saying? You got the best player in the state, top player in the country. You got Starkville. They got a group of solid guys who are gonna come out and play. So that's my game that I got circled on my calendar, no matter who else playing this year. So that's a game that I gotta be there to see.
I got to be there too.
I plan on being there. I want to throw a shout out to a kid for another performance. Anthony Robinson also had a 42-point performance this week down in Long Beach. I want to definitely throw out that performance he had. Um, he had a big game. And as far as my last word is, um, I don't want to knock Clinton. They are undefeated, and they are. I agree with you, Evie. They're the most talented. I do think they're maybe the most talented team in the state also. The other team, the team I want to throw out there though that may even be better, it may fit in before them. Um, Oak Grove. Oak Grove is good. I saw them early in the year. They got a lot back. They were really good last year. They got beat by Harrison Central. Um, and I think they're kind of running below the radar right now. They're 3-0. With that big win over Gulfport, Gulfport to start the season, and I definitely think they're a team. They're a senior team. They got one of the best players in the state in Jay Barnes, and Broomfield and the Sumner boy I mentioned today. And I'll be honest, they were gonna be my preseason number one if the Williams kid had left and went to prep school. They probably would have been my number one team. If the Williams kid had left. So I
he
definitely
been killing too.
Yeah, he killing over there. Oh, he gonna
Yeah, he racking up. He killing with
Moravia.
Yeah, he killing.
Moravian prep. Yeah, he working out there. He getting a lot of looks, getting a lot of
Leaving actually helped him out a lot.
Yeah, it did. I'm gonna say this. I hate to see our kids leave.
But you know what? Somebody asked me that the other day. Why do kids leave? I forgot who it was I was talking to, but for some people, it's better for them to leave.
Yeah, I mean, some of the better kids I'm like I always say this, guys. Like we talked about the other night. Unless they were already on the radar, ain't no scout coming in here to watch North Forest play Jeff Davis County the other night. Unless they already went out and got offers in the summer. You're just not going to be found if you don't already have offers. We are a rural state. If you're not playing in the Jackson area, maybe the Soto area, maybe the coast area. If you're not playing in one of those, it's hard to be found in the rest of the state.
Now, granted, I know we haven't dropped we ain't dropped the top 30 sound piece yet. So we did speak on this on there for those. Well, I can't say you missed it because you haven't missed. We ain't dropped it yet. It's coming though. But like we were saying on that night, I do feel that we are a couple years away shy from being a state where they come in and actually recruit. Like I said, I think the guys who are upperclassmen who are going to college this year, next year, they have a big piece to do with who comes in after that to actually get guys. Kind of like South Carolina. South Carolina was kind of the same way, but now you got Ja Morant, Zion Williams. They were top draft picks, and now the pipeline is open. Guys are going to Division I colleges every year now, so that pipeline open. So we just missing that. We missing that transitional piece to where it opens up for guys to come in and recruit Mississippi the same way.
And I always say, Delonte, everything goes in circles. I mean, we've been there. We've had some really good classes.
In the 80s.
Guys go pro, guys coming in. Yeah. It just kind of teetered off a little bit. It'll work its way back around. People always ask, what's wrong with Jackson Ball? Or what's wrong with it? Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just going through a little bit of a down period, a moderate period. So I mean, and everything in life goes in circles. So people tend to panic when something doesn't stay the same, but nothing in life stays the same. So it's just a matter of, like I say, the scouts aren't coming in, so that's why it helps those guys when they go in those venues where I take the kid last year that left Yazoo County and went out to Atlanta. He ended up in the Missouri Valley or somewhere like in Missouri Valley School or somewhere like that. I can't remember where he signed somewhere in Missouri. I think it was Missouri Valley School. It might have been OVC, but he went out to Atlanta and had a number of offers. Had offers from Mercer. He went there and went to camp. It just helps, man. You're in a much more visible situation. I hate to see guys leave, but cannot denounce that it works out more often and better for them.
Well, guys, man, I appreciate you, man. We've had a phenomenal show. I thank you guys for, once again coming on. We're gonna drop that top 30 here shortly. I think people are gonna really like that list. We got the top 30 girls, top 30 boys, regardless of class. For those of you who are finishing listening, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. To this. We want to start doing this every week. If you hit us in our inboxes, any type of comments, anything we can do to help the show even get better. So we really appreciate you guys, the listeners. And so we just want to say thank you again for tonight, and thank you for our sponsor, Tatum and Wade Law Firm. And if you want to become a sponsor on the show, please hit me up and let me know. And so for Talante Weber and Lavelle Shoes Johnson, I'm Coach EV, aka EV the Geek.